That's what you, in your old videos when you had your red hair, this is your move.
I know, I did that all, that's why, like, I'm feeling my hair and I'm like, oh, I'm not used to having my hair. But anyways, I touch my hair a lot. It's a habit, and I can't help it. Hi guys, it's Amanda, your cutie of Carnage.
And I'm Jess Koresh, back from my top secret mission.
Exactly, I found him. He was walking around Walmart, and I was like, hey, where have you been? He goes, I've been better.
You still doing that YouTube channel?
Guys, yes, he is back. He had to take a little break. He had to deal with some things. That sounds really bad. It sounds like deal with some things. Like, no.
I had to deal with some things.
No, he had some things he had to do, and our scheduling issues and everything really weren't working. But he is back, and I'm glad because I have been kind of talking to myself. My doctor said it's okay, but I don't know if the public thinks it's okay.
I'm glad you don't have to talk to yourself anymore, and yourself is probably glad that they don't have to listen to yourself anymore.
It's been crazy because you guys know that is Thanksgiving. Yes, it is Thanksgiving. As you guys can tell, I'm kind of dressed up. I let my hair grow out.
It grew so fast.
I know, right? Well, guys, I got a coupon for some hair, and I thought it'd be...
Why not?
Yeah, I was like, why not? Let's try it out, you know, do something different, because I miss my long hair. So, yeah, guys, there it is. You know, I thought nothing but it would be funny to go to Thanksgiving with long hair and kind of throw my family off, so... throw you off.
Yeah.
It's like, Amanda, your hair...
Has it been that long since I've seen you?
Guys, today is going to be an interesting one because we decided to do a countdown. Yes, welcoming Jesse back. We decided to do a countdown, and because it's Thanksgiving, I decided to do a repeat video, a part 2, and that is top 10 horror families. Yes, families of horror. It's a holiday season. It's Thanksgiving, so you'll be surrounded by families. So I thought it'd be better, you know, what better time, you know, than to speak about horror families than on Thanksgiving. Before we get our countdown, like we said, this is part 2, and I will have part 1 linked below if you guys want to check it out, because this is my second list. So if you guys are like, hey, you forgot this thing, you forgot this, you forgot this family, guys, check out my video linked below of my first one. It was made in 2017, so we'll see what is on there. I'm not going to tell y'all, but check it out. Okay, guys, here we go. And because this is Jess Koresh's welcome back, I'm going to let him go first. Jesse, your top 5 horror families and your number 5. You first.
My number 5, and I think maybe I included this because I've been thinking about this movie a lot lately. And I don't know if it's, I mean, I guess it's a horror movie. But my number 5 is Beetlejuice, the 1988 film directed by Tim Burton. And I include the Dietzes, which, you know, Lydia is the most famous family member, obviously, played by the lovely gothic Winona Ryder. You
love her.
I do love Winona Ryder. I still love Winona Ryder.
He mixes love and Winona and makes La Lona.
I love Lona. I should have, back in the day, I should have got one of those free Winona shirts when she got arrested for shoplifting.
Yeah.
You know, you got to keep yourself entertained, I guess, whatever. But yeah, it's just a fun kind of. I don't know. I've been thinking about Beetlejuice a lot lately. I think I want to go back and watch Beetlejuice for some reason. But like, yeah, that was my number 5 because Beetlejuice has been on my mind. And what a perfect Thanksgiving movie.
Exactly.
They're all around the family and they do the little dance and that's perfect. Beetlejuice is the perfect Thanksgiving family movie.
You know I meant Beetlejuice.
Really?
Yeah. When I was in LA last Halloween, well, not this last Halloween, but the Halloween for last, I went to LA to visit some friends. And when I went to LA, I went to Tim Burton's bar. See, I can't talk, but
Tim Burton's bra?
Yeah. Anyways, I went to Tim Burton's bar, and there was a Beetlejuice running around, and he was really...
So it wasn't Michael Keaton?
No.
Did he look like Michael Keaton? Did he look like Beetlejuice?
Yeah, but then again, you know, it's LA and makeup and stuff.
I bet that's a wild place, Tim Burton's bar.
It was, but the only thing about it is, I'll be honest, I live in the South, but there's no smoking. So everybody who was smoking had to, like, leave the bar. You couldn't even smoke on the patio. You had to go downstairs and outside. And, like, you couldn't even smoke in front of the bar. You had to go, like, away.
You had to take a taxi and go 2 blocks down.
Yeah.
Designated
No, you couldn't
smoking
smoke
area.
in any bars. Not even outside. Like, there's places, like, there was somebody sitting outside the bar, and, like, I lit up, and they're like, this is back when I was smoking, but lit up, and they're like, you can't smoke here, and I was like, oh, okay.
No, we mean here in this town.
Yeah. Anyways, here it goes. My number 5. 2018's Clove Hitch Killer.
What the hell is that?
And basically, it's about this town in Kentucky. And it stars Dylan McDermott. He's the dad, and it's the Burnside family. And there's this young boy, and this town is famous for this serial killer that was killing people and stuff like that. And they do a lot of vigils and stuff like that. And without really getting into it, I'm not going to get too much into it because, like I said, you guys know I don't like spoilers. But this film was kind of like very family-esque kind of feel, but things get very uproot, like things change a little bit, and you kind of, when you're watching the film, you're kind of like, oh man, it's all drama within a family, and you know they're trying to figure out who this killer is, and they're thinking it's this person, and then they think it's this person, and then they investigate, and it kind of shows kind of the relationship between like family and just like murderers and killers and violence. And there's a scene in it where you're kind of like, oh, are they gonna do it or not? Or are they gonna? So it's very up and down, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, that family is gonna be, that's my number 5 of horror families. So yeah.
Well, I've never seen that or heard of it. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I kept hearing about it, and I kind of put it in the back burner and kind of didn't. And I'm trying to remember, it's streaming somewhere. It is streaming right now, and I will check it out. By the time I edit this, I have a feeling that I'll find out, and I'll have the little icon right here. So it's streaming there, guys.
Or you can't find it, there's nothing in
I
it.
know, but it's like not streaming. The hair makes me not remember things as much.
Is that did you just make a blonde joke?
Yeah.
So moving on to my number 4. Is it making you thirsty?
Yeah, it is.
My number 4, and this is a trilogy of movies, but I only include one movie because I think they're more of a family in this one. It's Devil's Rejects.
Oh.
The Firefly family.
Mm.
And we're all familiar with them. But I feel like I feel like there's more of a family element in Devil's Rejects than really, because, well, first of all, in House of a Thousand Corpses, I think everyone's probably seen these movies.
No,
so
spoiler!
I'm not going to spoil anything. House of a Thousand Corpses, you don't know that Captain Spaulding's even connected to them really.
Yeah.
And then the second one is really when they come together as a family and you find out who he is, and the brother and sister and the mom and everything. So I think they've got more of the 3 movies. I feel like the family element is more prominent in Devil's Rejects. So that's why I say Devil's Rejects, the Rob Zombie movie.
Oh yeah, I agree with that too, because honestly, I mean, I'm not going to talk, you guys know that we saw Through From Hell and everything, but I liked the Devil's Reject family dynamic with all of them, but then when you look at the first one, there's a larger group, and it's a larger kind of like, gathering of psychos, so you feel more of that kind of kumbaya feel than other films. So yeah, I agree with that. Firefly, yep, I agree.
I think you're probably the only person to ever associate Kumbaya with a Rob Zombie.
I know, I did that as a joke.
A laugh track. Whoa! Where I'm just like belly laughing after that.
Please don't. It's my turn for number 4. My number 4 is going to be 2011, Youre Next. Yes, Youre Next. Directed by Adam Wingard, who you guys know directed Guest, and he directed. Guys, sorry, I can't speak today. He directed the new Blair Witch, and he directed Death Note, which a lot of people hate Death Note, but I really like Death Note. But he is also directing one of my most anticipated movies in 2020. Godzilla vs. King Kong. Yes, you guys know I love Godzilla and King Kong thanks to my brother. My brother's the biggest Godzilla fanatic. Benny, if you're watching. Anyways, basically Youre Next, it comes out of these family members are all getting together at a house for a family gathering, and these masked crazy people show up and start killing people. And that's all I'm going to get into it because you guys know that I don't like spoiling, but this movie is crazy. Like, it's crazy. And the ending is just, it's not a perfect example of family because, anyways, not spoiler, but it's not the perfect example of a family, but it has that whole loving family atmosphere, and then things kind of change because, you know, people don't like to die, so people are very against dying, you know. Yeah, so the film just is really, really just crazy, and the ending, you're just like, you don't expect it to go the way it's gonna go. But I just loved how, like, the family was there when they needed to be there, but things are crazy. So every time I think of, like, horror families, I think of that family, and I'm just like, oh, have you seen Youre Next? But if you guys are horror fans, you, of course, have to see Youre Next. Like, for real. Youre Next. Like, that's, Anyways, guys. So, yeah, that is my number 4 pick for horror family.
You're making me want to go back and watch that. I love that movie, and I haven't seen it in a while.
It is such a good movie. It's so good. And the ending, you're just like, what the... Anyways, guys, that's my number 4. Alright, Jesse, what's your next favorite movie?
What are we on, number 3?
Yes, Getty, because that was my last pick.
We're number 3?
Yes, we're on number 3.
Okay, my number 3 is, and I think we've talked about this movie before, Stoker, the Stoker family from the movie Stoker.
Okay.
Matthew Good as the creepy Stoker uncle who comes into the picture after the father dies and has a creepy relationship with the mother, who's played by Nicole Kidman. It's got a good cast in it too. It's what's her name? Mia. I can never say her last name. Mia Wasikowska.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but whatever.
Wasikowska.
Even if I have it like in front of me, I'm still going to butcher her name. But she's in a lot of.
The image will be right there, guys. So don't worry.
Yeah, she's in a lot of really good movies. I like her as an actress. But yeah, I like Matthew Good and I like Nicole Kidman too. So it's really got there's a good cast. Matter of fact, I think Dermot Mulroney. I think he plays the.
I think so.
I think he
if
plays
we're wrong,
the dad.
guys, sorry.
I'm pretty sure he plays the dad that gets killed.
I think so. Spoiler alert: the dad gets killed.
Oh. Well, I mean, you know, that's pretty early on in the movie.
That's okay. There's a lot more in the movie.
If you watch a trailer,
if
you watch a trailer for the movie,
True.
that's probably. I think Stoker's at like Dollar General.
It is.
Or one of the Family Dollars, or one of those places for like $5 on Blu-ray or something.
Yeah, we see it all the time when we went there when we got snacks for the Halloween party. We were getting snacks for our Halloween stream, and we kept seeing it like sits right by the cash register, and nobody wants it. But
it's a good movie. I should buy it. Add it to my collection.
So I'm gonna go ahead and get to my number 3, so we keep this video under an hour. My next pick is going to be 1967 Spider Baby. Spider Baby stars Lon Chaney, Sid Haig, Captain Spaulding. He's in it. It's about Elizabeth and Virginia. And Virginia is different, let's say. And this film starts off, you meet Virginia and her sister Elizabeth. And the film starts off very off-kilter. You don't know. I watched this movie, and it kind of gave me the idea for the countdown today. After, rest in peace, Sid Haig died. And I heard of this film, and I was like, I've never seen it before. And it's streaming right now. I believe it's streaming on Tubi right now. And I watched it, and I was just like, wow, this is really kind of... It starts off, guys, with a very, I'm not going to tell you who, but a really kind of brutal murder. Starts off with a murder, and you're like, oh, okay. And these girls are kind of off. And Sid, rest in peace, sir, plays their pet dog.
Wow.
Yeah, he runs around, he barks and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty different. It's a different movie. And Lon Chaney, and they do a little kind of joke where they all talk about Universal monsters, and right before they mention the Wolfman, they like stop. She goes, I love Dracula and I love the Invisible Man, and that, and then it cuts.
Oh wow.
And I was like, oh, that's funny. And there's a lot, and there's a few, I'm not going to say the ending, it's kind of, I felt like there was like kind of a montage a little bit to the Wolfman. I felt like it was kind of like a high five. But anyways, yeah, guys, it's really different. Like the family comes, their dad passes away, and he really does pass away.
He passes away.
No, and he passes away. Well,
No, really.
If you guys watch the movie, you know what I'm talking about. He passes away, and their cousins or whatever come down to visit, and they all try. Yeah, they all have different intentions, and the film was it's really strange. There was a murder, and it was pretty sexual and pretty graphic. Well, it's not graphic at all to today's standards, but for the time, I believe it was really kind of like, oh. So I thought that was kind of crazy for what it was. But hey, y'all, check it out, Spider Baby.
I'm definitely gonna check. That's fascinating to me that Lon Chaney and Sid Haig were in a movie together.
Yeah, I know.
He must have been Sid Haig. Lon Chaney must have been really old, and Sid Haig must have been really young. Is that
Yeah,
right?
he was really young in the
Okay.
movie. He was really young. I think he's probably like in his just turned 20. Like he's really like I'll show it to you. He looks really young.
Yeah, I want to check that out.
Your turn.
All right. Continuing in your tradition of an older movie, my number 2 is a movie that I've talked about on the channel before, 1974's Death Dream. I think it originally had a different title. But the reason I had to include this movie is because this kid goes off to the war. He comes back very changed, to say the least. They get a notice that he's dead.
Yep.
And then he comes back from the Vietnam War anyway, even though he's supposed to be dead. And his parents love him so much that they're just completely oblivious to the fact that he is, like, not the same person that left.
Yeah.
Like, he's doing some stuff that human beings should
He
not be
is
doing.
not right. He is not
He
right.
ain't right. He just sits in his rocking chair, and then he goes out at night and does stuff, and his parents are just like, oh, he's just got PTSD or something. You know, they're like, oh, that's our sweet boy, But yeah, I had to include them. That movie was directed by Bob Clark. The family is called the Brooks family, and I think the son's name is Andy Brooks. But yeah, I love that movie. It's funny. I mean, I'm laughing because it's kind of funny because it's an older horror movie, but it's just like his mom, bless her heart. Anyway, Thanksgiving.
Right. Well, to let you know, I finally watched it.
Oh, did you?
Yep, because you told me to, and I was like, okay, I'll check it out. And anyways,
it's an interesting movie, isn't it?
It is. I was surprised you liked it because there's certain movies like it that you hate, but that's a whole other video. Anyways.
Mind your business.
My number 2 is going to be 2001's Frailty. It is directed and starring Bill Paxton. Yes, Bill Paxton directed and starred in this film. And this film is really interesting, and it has Matthew McConaughey. You guys know before he became an Oscar winner, before he became really good into serious films, he did a lot of horror films. And this is one of the ones, well, this one was later. The other horror films were like the 80s, but this was later. It's basically about this guy who has a father, of course, and a brother. And his father thinks that he is doing the work of killing demons. And so, yeah, he says a lot of things, and he gets his sons involved and everything. Well, Matthew McConaughey is in the future telling about the past and everything. And it's an interesting film. It's very interesting because it basically just kind of gets you the crawl between you're like, you love your family, what's good and evil, like, because his father wasn't evil, his father thought he was doing good. So, and his father was good to his kids, he just was like, we have to kill this woman, she's a demon. And he's like, he's only killing him because he thinks he's a demon, but and everything. And then, guys, of course, if you haven't seen it, the ending just gets you. It gets you, and you're like, oh, shit. Yeah, like, for real, don't you?
Yeah.
Then you're like, oh my gosh. Like, so yeah, the family aspect of it is kind of like love versus crazy. So it's like a better version of what I was saying about Clove Hitch Killer, the Clove Hitch Killer. It's a better version of the Clove Hitch Killer. So, anyways, yeah. That's the best way I was gonna say.
Yeah,
So,
I watched that after he passed away.
Mhm.
It seems like it was recently, but I think it was probably like a year or two ago now at least. But
Yeah, it was 2001.
When he passed away? No,
No,
when the movie came out.
yeah, when the movie came out.
Yeah, no, I went
yeah.
back and watched the movie again
after
he passed.
You did it when he passed away.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
I misunderstood.
Yeah.
In peace, sir.
Very interesting movie. I wish he.
It was a really good film because it's not even just. I mean, it has that horror aspect to it, and that horror way to it, but it's just a good movie because it's development of characters and like you said, like good versus evil and like madness versus sanity, and it's so good and like it's such a like example of a horror family because you're just like. There's a lawn there and you don't know which way to go because you're like, he's good, is he evil, and so yeah, there you go.
I've actually read several books and watched a couple of movies lately about that kind of dynamic where it's like people doing what they think is right, but it's actually really bad, and that's a really interesting plot, and it's a really interesting road to go down, the human psyche like that. Yeah,
exactly.
So it's fine.
All right, guys, here it is, our number one. Well, my number one, and then it's going to be his number one. But my number one is going to be a newer film, 2018, A Quiet Place. Okay.
Can I go ahead and say something?
What?
That's also my number one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, A Quiet Place is my number one too, so this will be interesting. We can discuss it.
Okay,
together.
then we'll just do a joint number one. Okay, my number one is the Abbott Family, and that's Jesse's number one too. So yay, guys! There we go. We got number one. It's just, I loved it because it had this dynamic of just, you know, you're watching it and you see the togetherness of family, but you also saw the absence of other families. Of like, you know, you hear about families, you know, letting other family members die and not caring and sacrificing themselves. So it's kind of like that atmosphere minus like kind of like they do the same things with like zombie apocalypses and what have you. But you guys know how to throw in a what have you in one episode. But anyways, they take that and it's so, and then, you know, if you guys haven't seen it, sorry, if you watch horror films and you haven't seen A Quiet Place, I'm going to go at the ending. John Krasinski directed it and stars in it. Oh, and the aspect of just like them surviving and just, it was just so good.
It's a good example of like a close knit family under like extreme circumstances. And and plus it's got that dynamic of John Krasinski and Emily Blunt who are actually married in real life, so you got that extra kind of family thing going on too. But yeah, it's such a good movie.
It really is, and that was my number one horror family because I'm not going to say my last one that I did number one, but my number one last time, my last countdown, link below, a lot of people didn't agree with. A lot of people were like, huh. A lot of my films on this list are kind of current and stuff because my first list, I had families that I think deserved it more. But hey, this is the second turnaround, so we'll see next year. But yeah, John Krasinski, that film was just fantastic, and the family it was a togetherness, and it makes you kind of love your family and what have you. So yeah, this one probably is going to not be as controversial as my pick for the last video, but there you go.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you know, there's a lot of talk that a lot of people are saying that they're going to do a sequel, and that'll be interesting to see what they do, or if it's maybe a prequel. You know,
yeah.
I've kind of wondered about that because, I mean, who knows? Whatever, they're going to do whatever they want.
Well, the only thing about the prequel and everything, what made the film so great, I think, was just the atmosphere of having it already happening and dealing with the current.
Yeah.
Than, you know, having it happen. So I'm thinking like they go into like a prequel of how they came over. So it'll be too much like a zombie, like it'd be more of an action film versus a character-driven, you know, plot.
Yeah, I like the fact that the creature's like really mysterious and you don't know where they came from and all that kind of stuff. I'm a fan of movies that kind of just throw you into the middle of the action and you're like, okay, you're in it, you know, because they're not dumbing it down for you and we don't have to watch some 30-minute explanation of where these things came from and all this kind of stuff. And I think especially in that movie, it really would have completely changed the entire dynamic of it if you got, because you know, you wouldn't be able to have this whole quiet movie, you know, where everybody's
Yeah. Well, the whole thing about that too is they kind of have that Jaws approach because you don't see the creatures and stuff until halfway, basically in the ending of the movie. Because if I think they would have showed the creatures all through, it would have been kind of like kind of like the Jaws approach that I said. Like you don't see the shark halfway through the movie. You know, one of the scariest scenes, y'all know Jaws is the scariest movie I've ever seen. One of the scariest scenes is the opening scene, the point of view of the shark. You know, you not knowing what's underneath and stuff like that. So I think they could do a sequel, but it's very iffy. I'm very iffy about sequels because I feel like when they do sequels, they kind of jump into something that everybody wants.
Yeah.
But everybody
a
wanting,
money grab.
Exactly. Well, John Krasinski is a good director and everything. But the thing about it is, like, I think everybody's like, oh, I want this and I want that. What's scarier is the unknown. And I'm thinking that if they try to do too much, trying to like get into it and explain it, they're gonna ruin it for some people and then make some people happy. And I just think the ambiance of just not knowing and not going after. But then again, they might go with a family. But then again, what made it more interesting was a family with deaf children.
Mm-hmm.
So there's multiple things going on. So anyways, getting off that bandwagon, yeah, guys, that was our countdown of top 10 horror families, and I think we did good choices. We didn't have any, and I was going to say, before you said your number one, I was like, I'm so glad we didn't have any of the same ones, and then our number one.
At least we're great minds think alike. Right?
Well, I went through my movies, and I was sitting there going through stuff, and when I saw It Comes at Night, I was like, Quiet Place. He doesn't think it's hard.
And funny enough, originally I didn't have A Quiet Place as my number one, but then when I thought about it, I was like, okay, I have to put A Quiet Place as my number one.
What was your original number one?
I don't even remember now because I marked it.
Well, there you go.
I had them numbered and I marked them all out and renumbered them.
Well, there we go, guys. Well, what do you guys think? You guys agree? You guys disagree? Let us know. Comment below. And you guys remember, we seek approval, so remember to like and subscribe. My point, yeah. Subscribe. Like and subscribe. And until next time, guys, before I cut my hair again, bye. I need to get you some extensions.
Some beard extensions.
No, that would just be weird. You're vegetarian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, like, what do you guys eat on Thanksgiving?
Mashed potatoes. Tofurkey.
Well, I'm going to give you some of my green bean casserole.
Green bean casserole.
Yeah.
I can't speak for all vegetarians, but I hate Thanksgiving because it's the one time of year where everybody tries to get you to eat meat. They're like, oh, come on, it won't hurt you. Just eat a little turkey. I'm like, I haven't eaten turkey in 20 years. Like, I'm okay without it. It probably made me really sleepy. If I took a bite of turkey, I'd probably go into a coma.